Hello, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with realityshifters.com, and I'd love to talk with you about something people keep asking me about this last month, which is how to set believable quantum jump goals. Something where you feel like there's a chance at success even though you've never done anything like this before. So it's pretty important to be able to feel good about what you're desiring to see happen. Is it possible? Is it doable? Can it be done? So you want to start in this process by listening to the many minds that are running in ourselves. And I've drawn a little sketch here, very primitive, but it shows that if you think in terms of your mind having an idea of what you're doing, your heart can either be in it or not in it, and then your gut definitely can also be in it or not in it. This is actually showing you the basis of how you can have that kind of alignment and be in a state of the zone, the flow, where it's all lining up. Conversely, it's also a common experience, unfortunately, where people feel that their head has one idea of starting a new business, but their heart's not in it, and their gut feels like they don't want to do it for some reason. So if you're not honest and listening to all of yourself and all of those many minds, there can be issues. And this brings up a beautiful point expressed by David Eagleman, who's a neuroscientist writing in the book Incognito, The Secret Lives of the Brain. Almost the entirety of what happens in your mental life is not under your conscious control. And the truth is, it's better this way. Consciousness can take all the credit it wants, but it is best left at the sidelines for most of the decision making that cranks along in your brain. So you can breathe, digest food, listen to sounds, know if you're safe, be standing without falling over, be able to speak and do everything that your body is doing concurrently. The conscious part is the tip of the iceberg. The subconscious is huge. It's everything else. However, it matters. And that subconscious is everything below your conscious goal. So the goal is kind of like what you think you want to do. Now you need to check it against all of the other levels of your awareness. And doing that requires that you bring positive feelings to be a listener for those parts of yourself that might have fears and doubts. You need to be in a state, your highest state of compassion, love, and enthusiasm, so that you can really hear what the doubts and fears are within yourself and be that embracing, safe place to hear them out and to work through them. Because when you do that, you can re-express what the goals are. The part of you that's creating the goal can then reframe it, make it smaller, bigger, adjust it, change it, adapt it, so that it works more for who you are. And that's important for your success. You can also recall winning situations from the past where you experienced that state of flow, that state of having everything lining up together. And remember that beautiful experience when your heart is in it and when you really want to be doing what you're doing. So that means it's not boring, it's not tedious, you actually believe it's possible. And sometimes when people are not sure how to believe the impossible could be possible, such as if a loved one has a disease that supposedly is incurable, like Alzheimer's, then you can imagine, just pull back from that. Say, okay, I'm really focusing tight. Let me just pull back and imagine in the world somewhere there must be a researcher who can come up with a cure to reverse Alzheimer's symptoms. And recently that is exactly what happened to a person who came to one of my workshops, that they did have this exact scenario play out. So you can also, after you've listened to all of those levels of your mind, remember a state of being in the flow, you can reframe your goals and so forth. You can reframe them a little bit further with the imagined, envisioned success. What do you think is possible for you? And you might not think that if an earthquake hit, you could just break right through the door, jump out of a window and so forth. Yet that's exactly what the Kung Fu nuns of Kathmandu recently did when an earthquake devastated their country. And because they were just out of the building like that in seconds, they were able to be first responders helping the community who had also experienced the devastating earthquake and had not prepared to be at that level of readiness. So your future success depends on getting ready. How you prepare is, of course, dependent on what the nature of your goal might be. But getting yourself ready so that you are in a good position to do whatever it is you'd like to be doing makes a big difference. And you can start now. And you can know through the natural experience that nature is all about quantum jumping. It happens with quantum biology, that photosynthesis is occurring thanks to quantum processes occurring on the macroscopic scale. All of our senses work that way. And quantum logic actually is being found to be the full logic, with Boolean logic being a subset. So when we take all these factors into account, we recognize that we actually can picture our future success. It's already out there somewhere. And then making the connection of how we feel about it can make a big difference in ensuring that we experience it in our lives. Finally, check your gut feelings one more time after you've revised those goals to either expand out, be more comprehensive. You're changing the level of the so-called problem to experience a bigger solution, or maybe narrowing it down, making adjustments to fit your envisioned future self and what looks possible for you. And then just check it again, listen again. And this is a series of, it's a process. So it's, when you set quantum jumping goals, it really always comes back to listening to those many levels of yourself, getting yourself into as much integration as possible, and asking my favorite question, how good can it get? Until next time, this is Cynthia Sue Larson with realityshifters.com.